What makes shipping containers so strong? To answer that, let's take a closer look at steel. Shipping containers are created with steel that's resistant to stretching, which is also referred to as high tensile strength. Steel is mostly iron with small amounts of other elements such as carbon and chromium. Iron in its pure form is comprised of atoms arranged as pictured. Iron atoms in a perfectly cubic but relatively weak structure or lattice. When different sized atoms are introduced to iron's lattice, it creates distortions in the structure. The iron atoms try to hold on to their neat cubic formation but end up bending around the distortions. In this picture, a larger chromium atom has pushed the iron atoms out of formation, creating distortion to the grain. Just like in lumber and fabrics, the orientation of the atom pattern is called the grain. While a piece of perfect iron would have one continuous grain, the introduction of imperfections breaks the lattice into many grains that collide with each other. Here's an artistic representation of the atomic structure of steel. The white spaces at the boundaries of these grains are called grain boundaries. They are significantly more rigid than pure iron's typical structure. The strength of steel's grain boundaries does come with a trade-off. The greater the strength, the less flexibility. High carbon, and thus high strength, steel will snap before it bends. For some construction applications, flexibility is actually helpful. For instance, it is better for a building to slightly bend during an earthquake than to break. Steel comes in several varieties called alloys, with different amounts of non-iron elements. Builders must select steel alloys, understanding that the strongest choice will also be the most likely to snap. Shipping container manufacturers use an alloy commonly referred to as corten steel or weathering steel. The term corten is a combination of the steel's defining characteristics: corrosion resistance and tensile strength. Unpainted corten steel will form an outer layer of rust that minimizes deeper rust penetration. Many architects and installation artists actually use corten steel because of the aesthetic appeal of the rust exterior. Shipping container experts like us here at Falcon Structures favor corten steel for its protective qualities. We paint shipping containers to prevent rusting, but if the paint does chip, the rust will go no further than the exposed surface. Instead of spreading like a metal-eating rot, the rust forms a protective scab, minimizing the damage. Even structures with rust at the edges will still maintain structural integrity. Thanks to corten steel and the design of the units, we can count on shipping containers to hold 480,560 pounds on their corner castings. The weathering protection is also key to shipping containers' long-term value retention, which is 75% for at least 25 years. If you'd like more information about shipping containers, contact us at 877-704-0177 or email us at sales@falconstructures.com.